Like there's a difference between catching bubbles, just catching bubbles, and like, no, you have to hit this grasshopper with a gigantic, comedically large mallet.
Hey there, Toonami faithful, and welcome back aboard Toonami Absolution, where we talk about the shows that made us us and the shows that made you you. We are your hosts. My name is Alex.
I'm Sam.
And I'm John, Dragon Ball Z Ocean Dub, Episode 14, The Legend of the Saiyans. Debuts January 17th, 1997, made up of Goku's ancestors and counting down. And then Episode 15, A Black Day for Planet Earth, January 24th, 1997, made up of counting down and like the first 5 minutes of Darkest Day.
The Tuffles.
Oh, tough. The blonde Tuffles.
The Tuffles feel always felt like something that belonged in like Voltron or like an early Gundam series. And here they are getting annihilated by Gorilla Men.
They dress like people from Gundam. It's kind of funny.
Yeah.
This
I,
are the Tuffles a animeism? There's no like manga Tuffles, are
I
there?
mean, technically they're a double animeism because they're not mentioned in the manga at all, but they do come back in GT.
They do
Well,
come
yeah,
back.
yeah. GT is like I always found it funny that GT was like, what happened to the Tuffles? Should we do anything with this? Should we do anything with this? Should we create a liquid possessing person that's a Tuffle?
Hey, and how do the Tuffles square with the little frog Saiyans on the planet Plant that Bardock interbred with, I believe is the implication
They live on the other side of the city. They
Yeah,
would they were just generally having a nice chill time. Go down to the
sure.
Frog District, play some cards.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yes.
I like the Arcosians, who are our other introduction here, because the Arcosians are like weird, sort of Tuscan Raidery dudes who apparently made the attack balls, made the scouters. Uh,
there? Sure is non-canon up in this.
King Kai knows everything apart from all the things he doesn't know.
King Kai is
He-
like, I'm going to give you a lore drop this episode. Lore that is not technically correct, but will confuse the Daizenshu for the next couple of years.
and
No,
us.
we just ignore it all. Yeah, a lot of Legend of the Saiyans is anime only. Mostly because all the everything King Kai says is nonsense, which is surprising. He looks so trustworthy. And then we have Gregory, who is also non-canon. He is another. He's weird though. He's one of the only anime editions that survives into Kai.
Hmm. People love Gregory.
Yeah,
Well, also, like at the same time, he's always kind of floating around. So at some point, it's like we need to explain the little grasshopper boy.
I think it's also because we don't see Goku learn Kaioken, which means without that, if you just did, the problem with the manga as well is that Goku leaves King Kai so quickly because they don't, for clear reason, they don't want to show us learning the Spirit Bomb and Kaioken because they're meant to be surprised in the fight. But it does make the whole. We spent the last month going up Snake Way for one episode of King Kai. It just doesn't feel worth it. So the Gregory edition is nice.
Yeah, yeah, I don't mind Gregory. As
I
far
remember
as
last week you said you Gregory is your favorite between Gregory and Bubbles. You like Gregory better.
yeah, I like the little high pitched voice, floating grasshopper boy. That's just
I like
this
he
is
has
what
his
it.
own little table at dinner.
Yeah. You have to hit with a mallet. Like there's a difference between catching bubbles, just catching bubbles, and like, no, you have to hit this grasshopper with a gigantic, comedically large mallet.
Bubbles
Hey,
has much better union representation.
Yeah.
well, Bubbles is King Kai, so King Kai needs to make sure that his lich vessel is kept okay.
Yeah.
I do. We get this a lot with these two episodes. Is that this is a weird hodgepodge of we go. It's like every 30 seconds we're going. Here's a lot of King Kai stuff. By the way, Piccolo exists. Back to King Kai. By the way, Lookout exists. Back to King Kai. Like there are scenes of the other people training that I couldn't note down scene change in my notes because we'd already changed back to King Kai by the time I wrote the word scene change.
This is one of those instances, and you can see the Instagram reel or YouTube video about it where Ocean actually does kind of improve Dragon Ball Z in a way. You know, that video is up now.
Oh, yeah.
You should see it if you haven't seen it. I don't like the pacing in just the original, you know, where this is like episode 21, 22, whereas like for like Ocean, we're like episode like 15 or so. Like it's you kind of realize how much fluff there is, how much filler fluff there is in these first few episodes.
And you can kind of empathize with Ocean in that the fluff is bad in Japan, but I think they can just about get away with it as that audience we're going to be sort of already knowledgeable about Dragon Ball and care about Goku. For this, you're dropping a whole new set for Americans. You're dropping a whole new set of characters on them. You can't have your lead character engaged in lots of nothing for 5 weeks and expect the audience to still be there for it. It's understandable, but again, it's gonna be really problematic because Vegeta is arriving and Vegeta brings bad things. We also, talking of these episodes and sort of cutting, we do see this is where the censorship is ramping up. These two episodes specifically have a lot of very weird censorship in them. So like when we see
How weird is it?
Yeah.
Well, Goku, so when Piccolo and Gohan are fighting, they dub over Gohan's bruised eye. They put another eye over the top, which means Gohan is cross-eyed for a good chunk of this episode. They cut out a bit of Piccolo's fight. When Gohan drops, sweat pulls on the floor underneath him. They cut the sweat. Poor Gohan, none of his fluids are acceptable on American television. They cut Yajirobe biting Krillin's butt at one point. Goku, I love that joke.
I love it.
I don't see how that doesn't get in. Like, okay, it's violent, but it's no worse than what Looney Tunes was getting away with, or Animaniacs was getting away with in the same time slot. Like that was a massive overreaction. Goku gets underwear when in his pod, which is delightfully terribly drawn. Like to the point it looks like someone's just kind of it's on a stick and someone's like holding it offset. Like,
You can't see that.
Oh, my personal favorite is Roshi's bathroom has an occupied sign. They've painted that out because I guess we can't know that Roshi's taking a poo. Don't know. But then when Roshi comes out, they've painted over his knee because his pants are half up. Like, you don't see anything, but they've painted over his knee. I guess we can't see an old man's knees now.
Don't you know how scandalous the knee is? It's like the boobs of the leg.
Yeah.
I'm like, I got slightly offended because I'm like, Ocean, why can't I see signs on toilets and why can't I see old man's knees? I feel that I'm able to understand, even as a child, I think I'd be able to understand the old man has knees.
Yes.
Same reason why people blur their feet out on Instagram.
Those and ankles, you know, you just can't have them.
Roshi fans. I quite like that they call Goku's halo a ring because we can't call it a halo. But in the dub, how King Kai says it makes it sound like he's saying, "You've lost your wig." And it's funny because apparently I'm not the only one to mishear that because I was looking around and I found like threads of other people saying, "Why does King Kai mention Goku's wig?" So apparently it's a very common mishearing. And then obviously we'll get to it later when Vegeta arrives. We get some of the funniest censorship dialogue in the world that suggests Vegeta is au fait with capitalism, which I quite enjoy.
Well, we know that, you know, it's a good thing that they landed on a Sunday.
Too bad it's Sunday.
I love that line. We land on the Lord's Day. Very good.
Space Jesus says that we can't kill on Sundays.
Does that mean that the Frieza Force follows the Gregorian calendar and the Julian calendar? Like, what's the situation?
It opens up so many really stupid questions of. Also, it's just really like, yeah, so they crashed a building. Those buildings have been full tomorrow. It's like, why does that really bother you, Vegeta? That seems like a weird thing to care about. Also implies he's targeting those buildings specifically. Like, I don't know, Vegeta saw 2 standing towers and went, no. Like, so weird.
There's a lot of weird gripes Vegeta has. Like, you shouldn't have blown up the city. The Dragon Ball could have been here, but well, there's no one doing it now. Vegeta's kind of a nag right now. It's kind of wild.
he does kind of come across as really prissy in this. Like he's come off this long flight and now he's just snappy. Like until you get him to McDonald's and get him a Coke and a burger, he's going to be really snippy the rest of the trip.
Yeah.
He's still a little hungover from the airport bar, just like not he's not feeling it. The time zones are messing with him.
He's
The
still has indigestion from eating Arlians.
That can't be
the
good for the stomach.
customs
Yeah.
presume Nappa was his dad, and he's like, oh,
Ugh.
Do we like the idea of Goku showing off the spirit bomb before he leaves King Kai's planet?
I think it's a necessity. I think I get why we're doing the hiding Kaioken stuff, but if we didn't see anything he learned, this trip would have felt like an absolute waste of time that would have
Hmm.
been better done. If they'd done it so we only followed Piccolo and Gohan and then Goku comes back and then we get a flashback, that would have been fine. But the fact we've had to watch all the Snake Way stuff would have made him coming without learning anything feel an absolute waste of time.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I think that you can get away with that stuff in a manga because it's not shorter form, quote unquote, but you're not going to spend 23 minutes reading one chapter usually. Like there's going to be a little bit more progression than that. So I think you get away with it in the manga. I think in the anime you gotta give the audience something to make it worth it.
Hmm.
What
And
Yeah.
about you, Sam? What do you think?
Um, I mean, it's interesting because he's not it makes certainly makes more sense than Kaioken because otherwise when he's gathering energy for the spirit bomb against Vegeta, we don't necessarily know what he's doing. He's just kind of sitting there while a gigantic monkey person chases him across mountains.
Just hands in the air, like you just
Yeah, hands in the air, hands in the air,
what is
hands.
this Earth custom?
Yeah,
Be careful, Nappa, else they may pump up the jam at us.
yeah. Well, it is cool. Finally, there is a catharsis in seeing Goku navigate Snake Way all the way back so quickly too.
Hmm.
I
You know,
I like that too because Goku for a second is kind of forgetting what he's supposed to be doing and just having fun. That's like, oh wait, no, time to lock in. And like I
yeah,
got work to do now.
yeah. I forgot that it takes you that you have to actually travel all the way back Snake Way, and of course Goku's like, oh crap, but it's like, no, 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 you're stronger and faster now. It's fine.
Stronger
It's
and
fine.
faster now. This 3 month trip is now only going to take you a day, maybe two.
Which is
Yeah,
lucky. God, imagine if Toriyama hadn't finished the chapter yet, so we have to do Snake Way in real time again.
yeah. Oh God,
Um,
I could be doing this for 40 episodes.
the other advantage I think of the Spirit Bomb is even though we see it, we do get the King Kai tease of like, oh, but you'll be doing it on Earth. There's the sun, so that will be bigger and more powerful, but only do it once because it could still. So there is that kind of a bit of risk in that the Spirit Bomb we see going forward may not be this Spirit Bomb we've just seen, which kind of does add, it gives you something to not totally undermine it and make it a scene thing.
I do like that every single warning that King Kai gives Goku in this sequence is going to be disregarded to a rule in
Oh, yeah.
in about 5 episodes or so.
King Kai should have realized number one rule of comedy: you always ignore authority figures.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you all these things that you should not do with Kaioken and the Spirit Bomb. It's like, okay, you're going to do it anyway. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna abuse it maliciously.
Yeah.
My new technique, the Kaioken, is going to be abused.
Yeah.
Uh, oh Goku and all of your stolen techniques.
uh, yeah, it is kind of weird though that we sort of have this really big jump with this. Both the original and I would say Ocean failed to do is really capture the passage of time very well.
Hmm.
Because we do get King Kai being like, "Oh, they'll be back in a week." It's like, really? We've jumped from 3 months to a week in like 5 minutes. We kind of needed something, maybe like a pull-out shot with the sun and the moon or something.
I'm gonna throw this out here. I don't think Dragon Ball Z is ever really great with time. I mean, just think in the future about Namek. That planet's gonna blow up in 5 minutes. It's been blowing up in 5 minutes for 30 episodes.
I will at least say with that, at least that is like a confined event. Here we have time dilation for three different sets of characters in three different places. So, like, we're just meant to believe this fight between Gohan and Piccolo has been going non-stop for 3 months. Which, again, Piccolo, you should maybe just teach him something rather than just punching him in the face and hoping that improves him.
It's
Listen, I went to Catholic school. That's how that works.
Yeah, it's an arduous training process. He does get the Masenko by accident, probably.
He
Pickles, I
just
didn't
didn't want to
teach
We
you
be
don't
that.
punched.
ever, yeah, we don't ever see him like explicitly learn the Masenko. He just gets the Masenko.
He just didn't want to be punched in the head anymore, so he just kept putting his hands up, and it finally happened.
Putting pressure on a wound.
What's that
Oh,
thing you always say?
then again, it's like we saw like a couple of episodes ago. He learned Energy Blast just off screen. That has been my weird take. Like, oh right, Gohan kind of just we don't really see Gohan improve. He just gets better by being kicked repeatedly.
I mean, yeah, he just casually uses an energy blast to cook.
I mean,
Uh,
that's Saiyans. Vegeta will tell us every time they almost get close to death, they get stronger. So yeah, getting the crap kicked out of him is what's making him stronger.
I mean, it's I'm trying to Goku doesn't learn like outside of like the Kamehameha wave, he doesn't learn freeform energy blast until he's like what, like 18? Something
Yeah.
like that.
But they do go out of their way to mention that Gohan does have like that well of repressed rage to dip into. Meanwhile, Goku is way too tranquil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Years of Chi Chi's math homework has made Gohan into a killing machine.
He has a taste for blood now. Oh yeah, movie Gohan is definitely full of bloodlust, so we know that.
I'm here to learn math and kick ass, and I'm all out of math. Um, Also, the weirdest thing about the King Kai storyline for me is that King Kai explains that oh yeah, the Saiyans were losing the war against the Tuffles, and then the moon came up and they won, and Goku listens to that and doesn't put two and two together vis-a-vis his grandfather.
Well, certainly not in the Ocean dub, as we're about to find out, in another several episodes, right? He doesn't figure that out even seeing Vegeta do it in
It,
this.
it still mad about it.
It's
Yeah.
so weird in this situation to have King Kai say that and then to have Goku no sell it. It's he doesn't even comment on it, being like, "Oh, could I do that?" Like, I would have been happier if King Kai lied to him here because it just makes Goku look so stupid to not be able to not work this out. And again, it's because filler, but still.
I mean, I think there is also, I not to get psychoanalytical about Dragon Ball because honestly, it probably is just because Goku is dumb. But there is also that part of Goku where he hasn't accepted this whole thing that has happened to him yet. It's like I've been on this planet the whole time. This random dude showed up and said that I was his brother. I don't have proof of that other than his word. Like I can see why Goku would be kind of skeptical about this whole idea.
I can see why I'd be skeptical because his desperation to be stronger, you'd think you'd be like, well, that's what they used to win. Should I try that? And then King Kai could be like, oh, maybe you shouldn't. And then that's kind of pushing them in. It's just weird he doesn't even like acknowledge the fact that that's a power he apparently maybe has. Or we just
Yeah.
mentioned that your tail is gone, so tough. No, you can't.
Yeah. It's I mean, it's also kind of something Goku's absorbing a lot of information at this point, right? He's learning more about this ancestry that he didn't know that he had, even if it is, canonically compromised at this point.
I mean,
Yeah.
like Goku figure. I've mentioned this many a time in this company where it's like, man, Goku figuring that shit out later because of Vegeta. It just says to me that Bulma and Krillin and Roshi are bad friends, just as bad friends all around. Maybe King Kai is the only good one. He was trying to tell Goku.
It's like that. That's what makes Roshi a bad friend, not everything else.
No,
Apart from that,
that
he's a jam up
specifically.
guy.
Other than that, I mean, to Goku specifically. I'm not talking about Bulma. I'm not talking about any like double X chromosome human being. I'm talking about Goku.
Oh, oh dear. It's just a very weird little thing they have going on in this episode. It's always makes me amused when we get these kind of episodes. It's like, as a filler writer, you'd think maybe let's not base our filler episode around something that's probably going to come up later and be very important. Let's like because like the Princess Snake person had it right. It's like, okay, so I've got to do a filler episode. Let's just introduce a new monster somewhere on stage. That's fine. Never come again. Someone's like, oh, I'm going to rewrite the entire backstory. I'm sure the actual writer of the show's never going to go into that.
Yeah.
But we do get the shot of Goku in Saiyan armor, which I love because that gets used in everything. a lot of the old games give it him as like an old attire, which is always really funny because he never technically wears it.
Do we like the idea of him being as old as he is in the Super manga, where he's wearing the Saiyan armor as like a toddler?
I mean,
Because I don't,
No,
frankly, because it doesn't make any sense that he would, you know,
I
it's
like it because how he draws it makes it look like when parents put their children in like fireman outfits.
yeah.
Because Goku is like just a round ball as a baby in Super. It's like it's kind of adorable and like, oh, you've dressed your child up as the genocidal space force.
I mean, maybe I don't mind it as much because Goku's really cute, and I think like if Goku was less cute, maybe I would mind it. But it's like, oh, mommy's little soldier. Like
I like it where he doesn't have. I like him basically being a newborn going to Earth.
it makes more sense. It does make more sense for it to be newborn Goku, but Saiyans only get so big at a certain age, so he could have been 12 years old at that point.
Yeah.
Goku's past is multiple choice. Like
I,
no one quite remembers it.
just like the Joker. I do have to admit that I have a soft spot for when we get adult Goku with a tail. Adult Goku with a tail is always very fun for me. I like when that comes up. I like the idea of it. I like adult Saiyans with tails. I don't know why. I think it's a good look.
I mean, I think it was something that Toriyama wanted to get back to in the back half of Z. There's the concept art, his original concept sketches of Super Saiyan 3 where he has the tail again. I think he didn't I don't think he minded it for GT, even though he was not really involved with the production of GT. And obviously he brings it back for Daima, whatever Daima's status is in this wide continuity world.
What if that's an animation thing? It's just it became easier to sort of produce stuff with the tail. I think a big reason originally they had the tail going in and out was because it was hard to animate. So I do wonder if it's a case of like animations come on so easy much now you can have the tail back. So I was like, okay, I don't have to care anymore.
Yeah.
Admittedly, that was one of my favorite things in Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. Not so much the knowledge of how the fishing tail had to work, but I loved how Goku looked with the fishing tail. I don't want to know how Bulma invented it, but I do like how it looks.
Yeah.
Bulma has a lab which is very Frankenstein-y at times.
I think well, if I remember correctly, wasn't one of the issues with Super Dragon Ball Heroes is they could never figure out what color Trunks' tail should be?
It should be
Yes.
purple, right?
Well, I mean, it could be, but that was also why he doesn't go Super Saiyan 4. Because they were like, does his hair turn, because this is pre-Daima, it's like, does his hair turn black and long with red fur? Does it stay purple and get with red fur?
That's gonna clash.
And
Yeah.
there was a lot of things Dragon Ball Heroes has, well, it's part of the card game, which there's a difference between the licensing for the anime and the licensing for the card games and the licensing for the arcade game, which the card game plays. So all those groups have. That's why you end up with all the weird characters in Dragon Ball Heroes. Because a couple of times I've read where it's like they wanted this, they wanted this, they wanted this. We suggested this third pointless character, and no one had any complaint. So that won because no one was objecting to it. Talking of,
Hmm.
talking of weird, I want to make there's another weird switch in this episode, and it's well in Black Day Planet Earth, which is Goku and King Kai. So in Japan, Goku is very happy that King Kai hasn't put the Kai symbol on his gi, saying, "Oh, I'm glad I haven't got the ugly Kai symbol." And then Kai says, "What's on the back?" But in America, they switched that round to Goku being really happy about it, which I think is I think it's a great example of the American dubbers not quite getting Toriyama's humor. It's a really fun 1-2 joke of like, it's not on there, it's on the back. Oh, and having it Goku give his I think it's the early hints of what's going to become the Super Saiyan speech we're going to see later. Is that the Americans like Goku's pure good and always so happy and proud about everything. When in Japan it is a really simple old school gag of it's a weird change, but then we get the Saiyans arrive and the dialogue goes right to hell. We get our first mention of this area may have been evacuated from Nappa. really good evacuation because there were people standing next to you exactly 20 seconds ago.
Yeah.
Extremely efficient evacuation.
Yep, and the newscast later, they landed in the abandoned warehouse district. Ah, yes, the abandoned warehouse district with all the skyscrapers and the man and his daughter walking to a restaurant. I always take my children to dinner in the abandoned warehouse district, so you
It's
get
like
the best.
remember in Batman v Superman, because of all the backlash from Man of Steel of the devastation of Metropolis, they're like, okay, we'll use that as our inciting incident. When Batman and Superman finally throw down at the end of that god awful movie, um, like the newscasters, I think it's like Anderson Cooper is straight up like, oh, well, good thing they're fighting in an abandoned part of Gotham. And it's like, yeah, real good thing that we took the time to specifically mention this.
Yep.
It, it
Thank you, Anderson Cooper.
it
Yeah.
raises bad questions about your city's status when you have an abandoned warehouse district that is apparently just called like you could say abandoned warehouse district and everyone will know where you mean. It's like it's so embedded in the consciousness of that town that oh yeah, it's the abandoned district.
To be fair, it is Gotham. Like I'm just dude, that is one of those things. Like Gotham, yeah, I'll take that.
I'm not sure with Capsule Corp. I think Bulma could probably just capture stuff away into somewhere else.
Well,
Yeah, Metropolis has suicide slums. Actual Los Angeles has like Skid Row. The
Hell's
West
Kitchen,
City,
New York.
Hell's Kitchen, the meatpacking district, all that stuff. But the West City or whatever city this is just has futuristic abandoned warehouse district.
At least one of my favorite fan things I ever read was the joke that after the fight with Vegeta, Bulma sets up like Capsule Corp sets up the National Park Service specifically so Goku has abandoned places to take people to fight.
I mean, I would believe it. Like Capsule Corp being the equivalent of the Avengers does kind of make a lot of sense.
I'd like just suggest like Bulma walking around places. Like, any live here? Nope. Good, good. So if this was to be destroyed by, say, an explosion the size of a spirit bomb, not a spirit bomb, but an explosion the size, would that be a problem?
Yeah, just powering up alone is going to clear out about a block's worth of structural structural growths.
Come
Like
to
that's
Super Saiyan 3 Crater.
yeah.
And then they sell the souvenirs from everything because obviously all those energy blasts are going to make like sand glass out of everything. So
Yeah, this is a
Again,
final flash. This is a final flash memento.
there's one guy who has like all of Piccolo's severed arms on the wall.
Yeah.
They're all
Piccolo
sticking out the
doesn't like
wall
that
like in
guy.
handshake.
Piccolo doesn't like that guy. That guy is a
He
little weird
just
for Piccolo.
stand outside his window. Can I have my arms back, please?
Yeah,
No.
No.
it's kind of it's like some of the killers in Hannibal where they have like the art projects that are like super macabre and grotesque and it's just Namekian spare parts for this guy and it's like, oh.
Listen, there's a forum for everything on Reddit. Uh
Isn't that the Giro kink though? That is like, I'm gonna collect your blood.
I like the energy. I'm gonna get your blood. Like the Hamburglar coming
Yeah.
for your DNA.
You gotta remember, he's doing that like about now as well. So like his
Oh
first
yeah.
thought, like he heard, oh, the abandoned warehouse district is gone. Time to release the robot mosquitoes.
Yeah, it's right around he says he stops after everybody leaves for Namek. So he's like, okay,
All right.
we're it's hunting season.
Man, that would be someone should make that into that. That should be in one of the games where you get to play as on the little robot mosquitoes. You kind of got to chase around Goku as he's fighting.
Yeah, what's that PS2 game where you're a mosquito
Mr.
person?
Mosquito, where you have to sting members of a family. Yeah.
Right. So it's just that, but in Dragon World.
I'd play that. We are coming up close to the end though. So are there any fun facts before we hop into final thoughts?
No, we've covered pretty much everything. Oh, Final one, King Kai's math is wrong. He says there's 70 days left before the end of the Saiyans, but in the previous episode he said it was 88 days, and he says it took 3 weeks to catch Bubbles. King Kai can't count, but it's King Kai, so I don't think he can.
Yeah.
That's
King
the
Kai-
least strange thing King Kai says in these episodes, so it kind of gets brushed over.
Alrighty then. Then that means because King Kai can't count, we have to count our final thoughts.
I mean, I'm glad we're finally at the apex of the promise of the Saiyan Saga. I'll say that. I'm really glad that we're doing this is one of those cases where I'm really glad we're doing the ocean dub because yeah, we're 16 episodes deep on what would have been 22 episodes or so of the original dub. So it's going through both at the same time has been interesting.
Yeah, I think I'd forgotten how off this pacing was. I literally my note when like Vegeta lands, like, oh right, he's in this. I had kind of totally forgot because the problem is we've had this ticking clock and then stretched it out infinitely. So we've lost so much tension by going, oh, the set we've got a year to train, 6 months, and it's like, oh, 40 days, 80 days, now.
Yeah.
It's just the tension has totally gone. I'd forgotten Nappa existed. Um, yeah, it's awkward and it makes you think. I really do wonder if DBZ should have waited a little bit before starting to get ahead more. And you can see why I should cut it down. This wouldn't work with new characters. But too bad it's Sunday. Is for me just a moment we're gonna see. It marks a milestone of where there has been a conversation in the office of we can't let anything through now. And that's unfortunate because Vegeta is the time you need to start letting more stuff through. Because Vegeta's main aim here is killing everybody. And we are about to get some delicious, terrible dubbing. But to me, too bad it's Sunday is a line that is just will forever be funny because it's terrible dubbing, but also hilarious dubbing, and that it raises so many questions we're never going to get answers to. Vegeta, why do you know it's Sunday? Why do you know that means it's a day off? Vegeta, are you a weeaboo for Earth?
Oh man, I love the memes that we are about to get into. It's interesting because we've watched like a good chunk of the early Dragon Ball stuff together, and I'm just reminded how within 13 episodes of original Dragon Ball, we have all the Dragon Balls. Like, and I think that an interesting point of comparison because Z is taking a lot longer to get into it. It's kind of like comparing The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings in a weird way. Where, in The Hobbit, we just kind of hop into it. Meanwhile, in Lord of the Rings, we need 3 books, and a lot of it is going through Fangorn Forest. But I enjoy it. It is nostalgic. I kind of forgot that these episodes existed in the state that they do. I'm not gonna lie, but I'm having a good time rediscovering this piece of anime history. But with that being said, we have pulled into our final destination on Sunday. That is right. It is time for us to disembark from Toonami Absolution. We want to thank you once again in talking with us about the shows that made us us and the shows that made you you. We have been your hosts. My name is Alyx.
I'm Sam.
And I'm John.
And we'll see you next time. Bang.
Thankfully, the podcast was safely evacuated.
Safely evacuated on a Sunday.